So, hi everybody. So, just to give you a wee demo of various scobies, or how scobies can look a little bit differently. So here I've just decanted a couple here. So this SCOBY is what I would call a pure baby SCOBY. You can see it's really, really thin and not wholly, but almost see-through. Can you see that? How clear it is? Okay, so that is a newly formed SCOBY. So this one is equally as productive, or has the potential to be equally as productive as this one. I tore a piece off that one already. I'm not quite sure why, actually. Oh, I was loading up the jar for that lady for her chickens. So if you put this guy into your jar, it will grow in the layers, okay? So it has the potential to become as thick as this one, okay? So somebody was saying to me about her shagged SCOBY. It can be tricky to tell from a picture exactly what's going on, but this is another SCOBY. This is quite a young one as well. It's a bit thicker than the last one. It's not as see-through. So there's two layers in there. You can see them. They remind me actually a bit of the rings of a tree. You know, the way you can count the age of a tree by the rings that are inside. Well, you know that this has had two fermentations. So you can see on my finger there, there's a wee bit of gunk. That can sometimes be just a bit of residue left from the tea. It can be from your water. It can be from a variety of reasons, but it doesn't necessarily mean that there's anything wrong with your SCOBY. So you can see there's a wee bit here on this one. So all I do is I just peel it off with very clean hands. No metal, just using my nails. So you just peel it off and chuck it in the bin. Compost, feed to your chickens, your cat, your dog, if they'll have it. Children, if you want to. Somebody actually sent me an article about kombucha healing a burn wound, actually. I must share that with you guys. So that one's just been in a smaller bottle in comparison to this one. Okay, so that's why the size, I don't know if I did share a picture here, but I've seen one that was actually probably over 6 foot tall. A guy was holding it up. It was that big. It covered the whole of his body. So this one again has the potential to grow as well. So each time you put it in, it will grow another layer. If you want to make multiple bottles, you just tear that apart. So if, say for example, I wanted to split this up and give it to somebody, so I could actually split that into 4, put this into some older or kombucha that's made, or make a fresh batch of sweetened tea and leave it to cool, and put all of these 4 guys into 4 different jars and give them to other people, and that will grow and grow and grow and become one like, this is a better sphere, one like that. It will grow into whatever size container you have. So I think I said in one before, I have one of those, they're an oval shape. It's a glass grate, or sorry, a cheese grater box. And I don't know, I can't remember why. I just didn't make the kombucha straight away, and I had left it in it for a couple of days and it became that shape. It will fill whatever shape you put it into. But if you're worried about them, so there's a little bit, you can see it, it's like it's a wee bit stringy. So I just pull that off whenever I'm making my next batch, if I think there's a little bit of just looking a bit like something stuck on it. So I just pull it off and I use the rest of it. And I could tear this down to this size piece. Now that would be a little bit too small to get that size jar going. So that's a 2-litre jar that I've made my last batch of kombucha in. That's a little bit too small to get that going because it's a lot of work for it to do. So you just got to leave this to grow a little bit, even to the size of, let's see, that other one. Oh, sorry, when he was this size. Okay, so even if it was that, you know, for the 2 sides of this, even if it was just that circumference, it could get a 2-litre jar to go for you. But it just might take a little bit longer. So I like mine left usually about day 5, day 6. But it depends on the conditions in your kitchen, the temperature, Yeah, and if your temperature fluctuates, my kitchen does. If the oven is on, it gets very warm, and then sometimes it can be quite cool. At this time of the year, it's pretty kind of neutral temperature. But wintertime, definitely my kombucha slows down a little bit. So it depends on a couple of factors. And you can do is just pull these guys apart with your hands. Like sometimes, of course, to prove me wrong now, just like children, they won't come apart really easily. Oh, there you go. That's the top pieces coming off. So yeah, you just pull them apart if you want to make less. I mean, you don't have to, but if you feel that one piece at the top, maybe, you know, one is just submerged under the top of your kombucha and you feel it's developing a bit of a skin, you just take this bit off and use the part underneath. And of course, because I have no nails, because I keep them short, I can't seem to pull it apart very easily. It is coming apart, but it's in bits. So yeah, I mean, I've handled these quite a bit now. But yeah, so, you know, that potentially, that one little corner can potentially grow over a matter of fermentations. That can potentially grow, and you can give a piece that size to somebody else. So it's pretty giving, kombucha, and I personally find that it's quite forgiving. So I hope that's helpful, because I did, as I say, have a couple of people contacted me privately and asked me about their scobies. Now, yeah, and like I say, it can be hard to tell, but if anybody lives relatively close by and you think your SCOBY is gone to sleep, not working well, or whatever else, I mean, I have oodles. And even if I was left with just that much, I'll grow more. It's not a problem. So, yeah, I hope that's helpful to help understand a little bit. If you make it with loose tea, that is one consideration, is that the loose tea can stick to it. I have never had, in 9 or 10 years, I have never had a SCOBY go mouldy. I've never had one go black. And I'm not saying that makes me an expert or a perfectionist at this. You know, it's a lot of trial and error. I've made a lot of vinegar, as I would have said. But my point is it's rare. That is quite rare. Unless you've got an awful lot of material that's stuck to it and it's exposed to the air enough for it to go off. And maybe, I don't know, you've left it far more beyond my experimentation level of 6 months or something, and, you know, it's filled the jar and it's developing its own personality and it's having chats with you, then you've probably gone a bit too far with your SCOBY. Okay, so hopefully that's a little bit helpful to somebody out there, because I know, as I say, I had a few people that contacted me and were asking questions. Now I'm covered in SCOBY juice. So anyway, let me know if you have any questions, and hopefully I could answer it by video. It can be a tricky one, as I say, to tell by picture. Yeah, hopefully this is helpful to somebody. All right, take care. Bye.